hello lovelies. Today I wanted to bring you a walkthrough of a really special deck for me. It's my only indie deck, and it's a deck that was gifted to me by Christoph James. It's his deck, and it's beautiful. It's the Raincoast Pocket Tarot, so this is smaller than an ordinary deck, and I love it even more so for its size. I love using this deck in conjunction with other decks, namely the Tarot of the She. This deck works beautifully with that one. But I like the animal energies in there. I've said before about this deck that it's like Christoph climbed into my mind and drew the landscape and pulled the landscape of my mind out and put the imagery on cards, because a lot of the patterns and symbols and animals and just the general way I think is depicted in these cards, and I just really love this deck. Christoph also has a Raincoast Oracle, which looks unbelievable. He's also got an unbordered version of this in a larger size, which again looks incredible, and he's got this pocket version as well. So I will link all of Christoph's channels and his YouTube channel as well, and his website, so that you can go and have a look. But I realised that I've talked about this deck a few times and I've never done a walkthrough of it. So I wanted today to do a walkthrough. This is the box. It's a really nicely produced, good quality 2-part box. And the cards are amazing. So let me zoom you in. So these are the cards. Now there are a few title cards. Now this is why I was gifted the deck, because Christoph in a post on Facebook said if you can guess the number of this particular deck, I will send it out as a thank you. And I guess my age because I'm 51, and I won it. So here's the card with the number on, and it's signed. And there's another title card as well, and another one, a third one, and a fourth one I keep forgetting, and then one of Pamela Coleman-Smith as well. Now, when I do readings, what I do is I leave these 4 cards in, and if they come out with another card, I always know that these are indicators to really pay attention. And I have had more than one of these jump out on the same card, and it's really like a call to attention, so I keep those 4 in. So these are the cards. They're matte. Those are the backs, and they are absolutely stunning. And it doesn't come with a guidebook or even a little white book. I messaged Christoph to see if he had, if he did have a book with his thoughts about the cards imagery in. And he said he's kind of working on one possibly for the future, but really it's just to be read as a Rider-Waite clone and to go with the general meanings of Rider-Waite. Now, because of the imagery and because it's so pertinent to me, I'm not doing that. I am making up my own soul language for these cards, and I read them very personally. Like in this deck, the Fool is jumping off the cliff and away from the cliff, and these 2 twin faces speak to me. Even the look of this space speaks to me of a twin that I am no longer in contact with, who was quite abusive, with this little devil whispering lies in his ear. For me, that speaks of my immediate family. There isn't a dog snapping at his heels. There is a crow urging the Fool to jump. And as some of you may have watched my previous videos about my name, the Morrigan. It's Morrigan, and the Morrigan plays a big part in my world and me moving away from this sort of abusive environment. The orca is my daughter's spirit animal. The crow is one of mine. So you can see immediately there's imagery of a fool jumping into the flow of a river that is incredibly personal for me and talks about leaping away from abuse. And this kind of thing goes throughout this deck. Every card for me has me throwing down my just throwing down my hat into the ring, just saying, oh my goodness me, I just can't believe that. Here, now this card, the Magician, I read this as this woman down here being the magician and this being a trickster. And the same flow of water that the fawn jumped into is at the back, and the up here, and to stay in the flow with the crows, not to get into the boat and to be sucked in by the gaslighting trickster. And here are his tricks down here. He's somebody on the stage. It's all facade, it's all persona, there's no real truth there. And what he wants to do is put his own paper crown on this goddess magician who's already got her own crown that's controlling the flow of the river. So this is about not being deceived, to spot his bony skeletal hand, to spot the skull, to smell what smells fishy. And every image just grabs me with its own dialogue. I mean, the High Priestess. Oh, look at that, guys. I just love it. It's just everything about this deck is wonderful. And the Empress card is actually my iPhone screensaver, because this is everything for me. This is my very favourite card ever. My 3 animal energies, and animal energies for me have literally saved me at times. They've just been so important in my life, and they've come to me unheeded, unsearched out. They have found me, and the three animals that have pulled me through different situations are the octopus, the crow, and the swan. And when I saw this Empress card, with the flow of the water going past her, with the swan and the crow's wings and the octopus tentacles on her cloak, honestly, this card for me is everything. I just love them. The Emperor is my birth card, and it makes me smile so much that on his seat of power, he looks like he's got slippers on. I just love that, because my favourite item of clothing in the whole world are fluffy socks and slippers. So, yeah, that's my birth card right there. And the Hierophant, we've got 2 different versions of the Hierophant. So one slightly more religious than the other. I keep them all in. For me, they all need to stay in, and I love them. And I am going to speed up. I'm 9 minutes in already, and we are only on the Lover's card. Goodness me. Yeah, I just think this imagery, you can delve into it. I'm actually putting together my own soul language book and journal for this deck alone, because it is such an important one for me. I mean, the Chariot, the wheel down here, it's just so spectacular. Again, you've got the crow on the chariot. You've got the horses running into the flow of water again. Yeah, it's spectacular. Strength. And you've got the octopus tentacles again coming through. And you've got like the circus of the houses down here, and you know, spotting a circus when it's not as it should be. The Hermit with his orbs floating around him, and the Crow, and the Pentacle. Just everything in here is just fantastic. I mean, look at that Wheel of Fortune. It's just so good. Okay, I am really going to try and speed up. Justice. The Hanged Man. Now, when I finished my journal and my journaling around all of these cards, oh, look at the Death card with the octopus tentacles coming in. It's just amazing. I love that. For me, the octopus is my trauma support. If any animal knows how to survive trauma, it's the octopus. So for that to be on the Death card, it's just brilliant. And anyway, as I was saying, once I finished my journal around this deck, I am going to be sharing it, and I am going to be sharing some more thoughts about the soul language of this deck. I mean, that Devil card, so good. And the Tower card with the crown coming off the top. So let me try and speed up a little bit. The moon, I love the face on that dog. Oops. The sun. Judgment. And a beautiful World card with all these masked people. It's this sort of imagery that I think is so good for trauma work. I think this is why this deck speaks to me so much. Okay, the cups now. So we've got the Ace, the Two of Cups, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6 of Cups, the 7, the 8 of Cups, the 9. That just makes me think of the phrase a lounge lizard. On the 10 of Cups, I love the mother's hand on her child's head. There is an X in this card though, and my experiences with him put a whole new slant on this card, which I'm more than willing to allow to stay on it, seeing as this is my own soul language for this deck. So yeah, that puts a slant on that. Some of these cards I haven't yet pulled or absolutely got to for my journal. I'm more familiar with the majors and just the cards that have come out on repeat with this deck. So I won't lie, that one has taken me aback a little bit. Oh, look at these cards though, there's just so much to go on in there. The Queen of Cups and the King. So those are the cups. Then we come to the candles now. It's the candles that have been stalking me, really, since I've been using this deck. they I keep getting one of these virtually on repeat. I love the colours. A lot of the suits tend to take on a kind of colour theme. So you'll see it as well in the swords more. So the 10 of candles. So the candles would be the wands, of course. So that's your burden card. It's got a duck on a lead. Now the page of candles is one that comes out for me on repeat virtually every reading. So these are the court cards. And the Queen of Candles, virtually every reading I've done with this deck, I get the Queen of Candles every time. And the Empress card, Queen of Candles and the Empress card every time. Oh, I've just dropped one on the floor. Let me get that because I can't bear the thought of it being on the floor. Okay, now we've got the swords, and you'll see what I mean about the colours. Isn't that Two of Swords just spectacular? So you'll see the colours link them really strongly. I love that Two of Swords. I love the crispness of the swords in this deck. I mean, that's just a spectacular image. Very traditional Seven of Swords. There's a lot of tents as well. Also inverted buildings where there's almost like a reflection of what you're seeing. So it speaks of the double side of life, I think. I really love this deck. And a 10, very traditional. Then you've got the page, the knight, which is brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. The Queen of Swords, look at her, isn't she fantastic? And the king. There's a lot in these cards that you can start to read and, you know, put your own meanings in. Now the Pentacles. These are my very favourite. The Pentacles in this deck are absolutely stunning. There's a lot. The artwork is busy in the Pentacles, but because of the way I read with this deck, I like that. I like it a lot. I mean, look at the Two of Pentacles. I do think the best way to work with this deck, well, the best way that I've found to work with this deck is, yes, you grab some of the Rider-Waite meanings and you use that to jump off, but then you look at this spectacular artwork and you go free on it, you go free reign. Because there's no book with it, it's almost the same as like the Soul Cards deck for me. There is a freedom there to build your own narrative up. So I've used the Rider-Waite meanings as a jumping off point for a lot of the cards, but some of them it's just complete free reign. I love this Pentacles suit. I absolutely love it. You can see this is the busiest. It's got this kind of greeny blues. Very, very busy. This is another card that I get a lot. I get this card a lot. And the lion coming through the trees. He's repeated smaller on other cards. And the meaning that I've got for him really fits where that appears on other cards as well. It blew my mind when I first saw it, And now I want to find what card it's on. Oh, anyway, it is on another card, and it was an unbelievable reading. Look at that for the Page of Pentacles. My octopus loving heart squeals with glee at that card. And now, as I'm looking at these images, it's making me realise I need to crack on and do the study on this deck that I want to do. So I've got the full meanings for myself, because I personally can't use this deck solely as a Rider-Waite clone. Look, there's that lion peeking through there, but I think it's on another card as well. I'm certain it is. So that's it. So that is the Raincoast Pocket Tarot by Christoph James. Completely spectacular. So much more than a Rider-Waite clone. So much more. It is a an art show. It is spectacular. If you love working with animal energy, or you love working intuitively with cards as well, then this is one for you. If you are doing healing work, or you have any sort of trauma that you're working through, or shadow work, I would say this is one for you as well. It doesn't shy away from tougher images. It does have a shadow element in some of the reflections. I think it shows an up and a down. It also has some like quite dark aspects to the cards. Look like there's a beheaded, looks like an angel there on the Knight of Candles, and there are these hidden skeletal figures. You know, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of feminine power cards as well. If you are on a witchcraft path, the Pentacle features in a lot of the cards, which I love. Yeah, it's a storytelling deck. You can use the imagery in these cards. Oh, I might have to, I'm going to have to work with that card, because I'm finding myself prickling with that one. Oh, was it Grace? You said, who needs their ex in a deck? So, yeah, I've completely forgot what I was saying now. Seeing my ex in a deck has thrown me again. But look, these on the Three of Cups are almost like claws around the bottom of these goblets. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I hope you've enjoyed that walkthrough. I think that this is spectacular. And I want to say a huge thank you, Christoph, for this beautiful, beautiful deck. It was the most spectacular gift. I am absolutely in awe of your talent. It is such an impressive body of work that I've got here, and I do just feel really honoured to own it. This is everything. This is my all-time favourite tarot card ever. Like I say, it's my screensaver on my phone, and it just lifts me every time I see it. I love it. The High Priestess, I mean, wow. Yeah, I just love it. So it's the Raincoast Pocket Tarot by Christoph James. The only indie deck I own, gifted to me. And it's a good one, guys. It's a really good one. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.